Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the charts to take another look at Vechain to see what's been going on most recently and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us down in Discord, why not check it out? Links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free to join, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. If you haven't yet joined us in Patreon as well, check out the services in the description down below. Fantastic things that we offer there, so why not check those out? Right, let's jump right down into this. Right, Vechain paired up with USDT, hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at the recent kind of moves. Right, I'm just going to zoom out a tad here because we are tracking a 5-wave structure, and we actually have got, unfortunately, structure to it, right? So we've got 5, we've got 3, we've got 5, we've got 3, and we should be thinking about 5 waves coming down. That would complete it. Essentially, that's kind of what we're looking at. Of course, there are alternatives here, and that it is basically a 5-3-5 ABC move and we rally on up. Invalidation of the 5 waves down would only come in if we hit 7.464. Okay, so if we were to move the price up here, without first dropping down here, towards that 5th wave low, then essentially, yeah, it's invalidated. So if we were to go up towards 7.464 cent, we would invalidate the lows. However, I think that is highly unlikely, and that we should prepare ourselves for what is to come. The low point where we start to accumulate. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's drill this back down. Okay, and as this is where we can start to really dive into what is going on here. So essentially we have an ABC structure go upwards. This seems to have completed at about here, which is good to see. And then there is well, actually just a choppy move coming down. So we haven't got the structure that we're looking for. This could actually indicate to us that the 4th wave is not over just yet. And so what I mean here is we've got a pretty clear 1, 2, 3, so an ABC. Then we move back up in an overlapping fashion, and this again is more overlap. There's nothing definitive about this. It looks like we're pulling back down from where we are here, and there's some kind of ABC structure right inside here as well, right? A, B, and C. And again, there's nothing too much about it, right? So the main point of what I'm saying here, guys, is that there's not a good structure so far, but what we should look out for are some key levels on the way down. So if I pull this up here, we can start to move this over to our recent highs this side, and we start thinking about maybe coming down into this range here for a bounce upwards before pulling down finally into those lows. So we are still looking for 5 waves. With those 5 waves don't have the structure that you would expect to see, but again, you're gonna have to be bending the rules a little bit with Elliott wave because we are not as liquid as we want to be, and as a result of that, some of these waves on the sub-wave counts do not marry up as you would expect them to. So I'm expecting that we would come down towards our yellow box area. This is basically between 5.187 and 5.489, and then bounce up and then finish it off with a move down. So we might come into this box briefly, we bounce for a 4th wave, and then we fall down, finally finishing the entire thing. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And we're too soon to know if that is exactly what is playing out. At the moment, this just looks like an ABC. So we have A, B, C wave to come down. Okay, that would put us at about 5.785. Okay, right in this sweet spot here. So right now, that's one of the things that we've got to be watching out for. But we should, in theory, actually overextend, and we should break this C wave more than or we should hit the requirements of a 3rd wave at 1.618, and then we should potentially bounce and come back down lower, right? Because we aren't there yet. So essentially that's kind of what we're looking at on the smaller time frame, right? We're basically waiting to see these 5 waves. Now we've had 5 waves up on here, and we've had 5 waves over at the top end, and we are just now waiting for the final 5 waves down here. And I do anticipate this being about 5.187 and 5.489, and this will be the zone where we then start to think about reversals and where we start to see actual growth upwards. And again, it could be short term, so we measure that as an ABC. It might not be some kind of impulsive structure or anything like that. So let's first of all now shoot on out. This is pretty much doing what Bitcoin is doing. So if we take a look at the daily, what I would expect to happen here for Vechain essentially is these 5 waves come down, we complete that move, and then we bounce on up, okay? And just like what we had with Bitcoin, is we would have 5 waves come down, 3 waves go up. The next expectation would be for 5 waves to come down, okay? So we would see these 5 waves taking us down lower. Okay, so just because we're finished with these 5 waves, it doesn't mean you're out of the woods. Essentially, it would mean that we are looking for a 3 wave upwards and then 5 more waves down. Okay, so again, we'd end up with potentially coming back down in here. Now, what you'd end up looking like is some kind of head and shoulder pattern, is what you'd normally find within these kind of structures. Whether or not you want to kind of take this low point as our potential, or actually probably more at this point here, approximately, yeah, I would say approximately 4.447 is probably the neckline if it were to be a head and shoulder pattern. And if it's actually lower than that, it could be diagonal at 3.9. Progressing upwards, which is another way of looking at it. Okay, so basically what you end up with these kind of bigger ABC structures, because that's what you've got, ABC up, and this is a large ABC down consisting of 535. Basically it makes it look like a head and shoulder pattern, and therefore, you know, we would basically look at the neckline and would say, yeah, we're probably going to get an impulsive break out of that neckline and taking us down into these lower ranges. Okay, so for example, if I were to actually go ahead and grab hold of the head and shoulder pattern, and I were to run it, let's take it from here to here, down to that point, up to the high point, down potentially to our low point, which will put us right into our 5th wave. You can see how we finally marry this up here. Then bounce up again. Don't know necessarily how high this is going to go, but we'd bounce up and then we'd pull back down. And what you would see here is basically on the next impulsive move going down is you basically start to see the structure here. I say it's impulsive, it's not. It's actually corrective. It's a 535. So this 5 wave down, you see breaking the neckline, and then you break that neckline and you pull back. Okay, so it will look like a head and shoulder pattern. You know, people will recognize the same pattern over and in different kind of ways. They'll articulate exactly what I'm telling you, but using different terminology. But essentially what you have here is we complete the 5 waves going down anywhere between 5.187 and 5.489. Then we get the ABC structure going up. That basically becomes our right shoulder. And then we break down with 5 more waves, breaching the neckline and going down deeper. Okay, and obviously knowing that that's a 5 wave structure actually allows us to understand where we're likely to end up. Whereas a head and shoulder pattern, you basically break the neckline, you wait for a retest of the neckline. But here we'd actually have better understanding rather than just using a pattern like a head and shoulder. We'll actually use the waves to actually help us understand the psychology of the people trading on Vechain. So what I'm saying here, guys, is essentially trying to keep this video really short. Is that we've got an opportunity, and there's an opportunity right here at this bottom of this 5th wave to purchase and accumulate if we wanted to. Now, I'm obviously not a financial advisor. I cannot offer you financial advice, but this will be what I am doing. I'm going to buy Vechain at this low level. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride this up, and I'm probably only going to look for about 35%. There's going to be resistance right up here, about 7 cents, and that is going to be the area that I'm probably going to want to get out of VET. Okay, there'll be a pullback, there'll be a B wave, there'll probably be a C wave higher, and again there's opportunities in here if we do see that reversal, but probably a higher risk at that particular point. Instead, what I will do is potentially wait for the final 5th wave to come down lower and accumulate again here ahead of whatever is next. Okay, so there's some good strategy that can be applied. This is my plan, this is my strategy, this is the thing that I'm going to be looking to do. I want to buy the bottom of the 5th wave low, I want to ride up the A wave, I want to find about approximately 35% on profit. I will let the B wave do whatever the B wave wants to. I'll see if there's an opportunity with the C wave, and then I will wait for accumulation at a later stage. I do not short the market. I do not use leverage, so I would not short it. But you get the idea. That's the kind of structure that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a 5, 3, 5 structure, and I'm looking for that to be completed over the next couple of months or so. And again, what I'm not expecting to happen is to go down lower than this point down here, right? We've got a low that is set, I think it's at 3.9 cents. Not expecting us to go down lower than that, okay? But I am looking for us to come down a little bit lower than we have seen previously, okay? But the 5 wave structure here will tell us everything that we need to know. And, you know, we also do have this as an ABC structure. Essentially, this is a big A wave coming down, a big B wave going up, and a big C wave coming down. The C wave will also have some kind of relationship with our A wave to a degree. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.